What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Love is Blind, the new pile of hot garbage reality TV show from Netflix. Now, this is the second garbage reality show that I've watched recently. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I've been in a weird mood where if some garbage comes up on Netflix, specifically Netflix for some reason, I've been checking it out. One of the things that's interesting is the release schedule for these reality shows that Netflix is doing. They're doing them in chunks. So the previous one, Circle, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks of like 4 episodes each week, which is interesting because you'll kind of get it gives everybody a week to watch, and then they kind of, people will binge it. So you get some buzz online, as it were. And this one's similar. This one's not only does it have the release schedule, not only was in 3 different sections, but the show itself, the structure of the show itself changes over time. So the show starts out, you got a bunch of single dudes and a bunch of single chicks, and they're going into these pods, and they're having dates and talking to people through like a glass thing, so they can't see each other, right? The show is all about trying to find love, proposing to somebody without ever having seen them, and seeing if that works out. So it's basically like they're going on a bunch of dates, and eventually a few dudes will propose to a few women, and they move on to the next stage of the show. So first episode, interesting, right? Interesting premise. Kind of weird that pods are involved with both this show and The Circle. Pretty early on, though, in the show, you could tell tonally who the show is made for. It seems to be geared pretty much for, Midwest people, maybe people that aren't around as much diversity, as it were. Because it's all straight couples, obviously, because there's only, how it would be much more interesting if the show for season 2, the first episodes, not only could you not see somebody, but everybody's voice was modulated differently. That way you don't know if you're talking to a man, you don't know if you're talking to a woman, you don't know, you can't tell, what race they are potentially by how they sound. Not that that's a big giveaway, but there's, you can kind of tell sometimes. Just there's certain kind of I don't know if colloquialisms is the right, but certain terms and phrases which kind of circle around different cultural niches. But yeah, so that would be much more interesting. Actually, making it a little bit more deceptive on that side, and would make the reveals for after the proposals be way more interesting. So they go on these dates, and it seems from the get-go, the only it's mostly white people and black people. There's a couple Latinos, but they look white. They don't even look tan. They just look like white people. They look like, regular whatever, except for, the chick has a little fiery kind of personality and has a little accent, but looks white as fuck. Right? There's no brown people anywhere. The closest is just a bunch of black people. So it's just black and white people. And so race is kind of a topic of concern, and then because you can't see them. It's like, I don't know if they're black. I don't know if they're white. I don't know. What would my family say if I fell in love with somebody of a different race? Also, age, for some reason, is a huge thing, which there's some like 20-year-olds and there's some 30-year-olds. Like 30 and 24. Like there's not like 60-year-old people and 20-year-old people. It's like maybe a 10-year gap in between their ages. But huge deal. To some people, that is a huge deal, and according to the editing of the show, would not stop complaining or worrying about it. So already kind of turned off because it's like, and like they're all attractive people, so there's no worry of like, oh, I'm like accidentally falling in love with a bridge troll, because of course they wouldn't want to show that, because after they do all these dates, right? So after the first episode, nobody's proposed yet. I think that starts in the second episode. But they did this promo thing at the end of the first episode where, like, check out what's going to happen in the rest of the season. And it shows that eventually they show all the couples that got together, right? So they spoil that because that hasn't even happened yet. They show that the structure of the show evolves past the pods into more of a living situation with these people. So like this promo at the end of episode 1 spoils like everything that happens in the next couple episodes and basically makes anything that happens pretty, I mean, it's like watching the worst trailer before going to watch a movie. It's just like you see everything that's happening before the thing. So that annoyed the fuck out of me. The people that are in there, their concerns during this experiment, concerning. So and then in the second episode, some people propose, some people accept, some people don't accept. You can see drama. There's like one woman who's like says yes to somebody who is clearly like their second choice, and like he knew he was their second choice because, you know, all the women get to hang out with all the women after their pod dates, and all the dudes hang out with all the dudes, and there's clearly like people that aren't in the mix at all. Like there's a bunch of dudes that you see when they're all hanging out that never get featured in like the pods. So anyway, people propose like never having seen them, and then they move on to the next section where they see each other, right? And then, you know, oh, attractive people seeing attractive people, but then, you know, a couple people, it's like they're different races or different ages, and that's a huge deal. And then they move into where they're like simulating living together, so they are all in like these condos together, in these apartments in the same complex. So it's like, first off, you're getting all attractive people, you're getting people that either have no jobs or have jobs that they can just take off for a month while they do this experiment to get married, because it's like nobody's really concerned with working. I think one person actually left to go do a job maybe, but there's like still quarantined, it seems like. So they live together, and you see some drama there, and they show their families, and there's family drama. It's like, oh, you're proposing to somebody you just met on a reality show, and then there's like the kind of typical drama you would see there. It's just like so, and all these people are so uninteresting. There's like so little interest. There's like, you don't really get to know any of them other than like they're very surface level things. The fact that they're going on a reality show to get married, like people that put marriage at like such a high pedestal in their life achievements, that like, oh, I need to be like people, same thing with like, I need to go find a boyfriend. Like I'm searching for a boyfriend, or I'm searching for, like somebody's searching for a spouse. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you want to just live your life and hopefully put yourself in situations where you might meet somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with? But it's like you're going out hunting for somebody that like, oh, I'm going to go find the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. There's billions of people in the world, and you're going to go actively find the person. Just the whole concept of the show, just everything about this show just makes my skin crawl. But I had to see it through. It's like I had to see how it ends. Season 2, probably not going to see, unless they change shit up, unless they seriously change shit up to make like the blind part of it actually blind. Like maybe they don't get all attractive people. Like maybe diversify the racial and sexual identities a bit. You know, let's move this whole thing into modern day reality of the types of people that exist. There's a huge plethora of people that aren't like Hispanics that look white, that aren't just, you know, generic white and black, or like as if this country is only two races, right? This is ridiculous. So anyway, and then it ends, and then the very last episode, which instead of, it's like the first chunk is all the pod stuff, and then like them kind of moving into the thing. The second chunk is like relationships dealing and family drama. And then the third one is the wedding. It's just the last episode came out a week later, so it's over 3 weeks, I think, the course of it. And some people went through with the wedding and some people did not. And I was it kind of worked out. Like I felt like there were some that were like, why are they even doing this? Like, this is so clearly not going to work out. And thankfully, like, those didn't actually go through. So in the end, I wasn't totally hating the show, but you know, it is what it is. If you're looking for some trash to watch, go check out Love is Blind on Netflix. I just said, you heard. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at InspiredDisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!